Hi, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost here. You know, you wouldn't dig into your house electric panel and try to service it without being trained on how to do it. Electricity is dangerous, but it's also incredibly powerful and a useful tool. Same as a chainsaw, same as a gun. Today's the first day of permitless carry in Ohio, the beginning of constitutional carry if you want. You don't have to have a license from the government in order to exercise your constitutional right to carry, but I'm encouraging you to get training anyway. Guns are dangerous, and with that dangerous tool comes a responsibility to know what you're doing and be able to use it if you have to, God forbid, to be able to use it safely. There's a lot of things in the law that you need to know too. And even though you're not required to go to class anymore legally, that doesn't mean it's not a good idea.
Okay, so they were out in Ohio. The Governor Mike DeWine signed this bill into law, as was getting explained there by the Attorney General there, making it easier for teachers and staff to carry guns on school premises. It wouldn't be forced, it would just be kind of allowed. Now, by the way, chainsaws, electricity, guns, all those things just kind of go hand in hand together. This bill is called House Bill 99, and it would lift restrictions on teachers, custodians, bus drivers from carrying firearms at work. But then there's a little bit more here. After Governor Mike DeWine announced he signed this House Bill 99, which lowers the required training hours for armed personnel, from 728 hours to just 24 hours, DeWine said he still preferred law enforcement officers to carry their guns at schools. So the preference for law enforcement is a thing here because those 700 hours of training are intended to broadly train law enforcement, is what DeWine, a Republican, said during a news briefing on Monday. And he also added, the vast majority of that training is not really relevant to a school safety directly. Why are they there? So cops need 700 hours. Regular folks need like 24, as I mentioned. Suddenly do this from teachers to custodians. You just trust everybody there. Let's more details on that. House Bill 99 was first introduced in February of last year, but it quickly advanced through the GOP-controlled Ohio legislature at DeWine's behest after the Uvalde, Texas school shooting last month. The bill passed on a mostly party line vote. Teachers, unions, and education groups have condemned this new law. So Francesca, we've got a school shooting that happens. Everyone's up in arms about it. Everyone's talking about these 19 children and 2 adults that were murdered there. And then the response from Mike DeWine and this legislator in Ohio is to say, hey, let's let all those teachers, custodians, anyone else in there bring a gun into school if they'd like, because that's how those things should work.
And they have so much extra time on their hands to be trained to use a gun, right? The teachers, if there's one thing that they always say is that they're never tired at the end of the day. They're always just like, there's so much more, after I get done putting out 1 million fires and fundraising for my own school supplies, I really wanna be trained on how to use a lethal weapon in and around elementary school children. Yay. No, that's not the reality. It is so sick and twisted that we put this on teachers. The government has completely relinquished its responsibility. And also the idea of constitutional carry, I just love how that's like constitutional carry. The Constitution says a well-regulated militia. Are you part of a militia? What is this? Is it we got militias. Are they well regulated? I don't think so. Like, what is going on here? And again, firearms are, and it's not just AR-15s and mass shooters, but everyday like handguns are responsible for so many deaths in this country, more so than mass shootings. And introducing children with firearms is such a recipe for death. And we know this. We've been knowing this. Man, kids get access to they know where the snacks are. They know where their teacher keeps, whatever, the Play-Doh that they can't eat, or they're gonna find the gun.
Well, we also know that sometimes teachers have adversarial relationships with their students. And maybe they don't like certain kids. Sure. Maybe they don't really care. Or maybe they leave their gun in the bathroom in the stall like we've seen even from law enforcement folks in the Capitol. All these things happen because people are responsible with their guns, especially when you have no training that you have to actually do, you just bring it in. It's just how these things work now. Lesson, and let's just hope. Let's go to graphic now because I want you guys to picture your second, third grade teacher having to do this. According to the bill, training must include how to stop an active shooter, how to de-escalate a violent situation, something apparently we don't teach cops to do, trauma care and first aid, and at least 4 hours in scenario-based or simulated training exercises, and completing, quote, tactical live firearms training. But off the top, the Attorney General there was saying, you don't have to do anything. We just hope that you do. Can you imagine being 16 years old, getting your driver's license, and then going to the DMV, and the lady behind the counter says, you know what? You don't need a license. Just be careful out there, kid. We don't do that. We absolutely do not do that, but we do it with guns because we're America.